Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another Core Racing League special tonight. As the Core Racing League actually takes the Arca Menard series to 2 mile and a mile and a half track tonight, as Rockingham will play part as the first race tonight, and then right after Rockingham, we go to Texas. But before we get into a little bit of the race aspect, let me go ahead and introduce my co-partner here tonight from a hotel room, Mr. Ricky Gonzalez.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dylan McDonald. Yeah, we're in Houston, Texas right now for work this week. Had to come down here and take care of some business. Um, it's part of life. I hate it, but you know what? I did an obligation to be the broadcaster tonight. So here we are sitting in a hotel room. At least it's a decent suite I'm in. And we're going to have some Core Arca Menard series going off here from The Rock. And then going to my hometown, the Lone Star State in Fort Worth, Texas. 4.5 hours south from there right now, but we're going to go to the high banks of Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, these two tracks here tonight will play dividends to your tires. I did take a little bit of time to help another fellow racer as Caleb Collins was trying to get used to the car and track. Because, I mean, if anybody knows Rockingham, it's me. I mean, it's in my nickname, Dylan Rockhard McDonald for Rockingham. This is just one of my absolute favorite tracks. I'm glad that they brought it on iRacing. I did very well in the 87 series on this track. And I mean, this is just one of those tracks where you got to conserve tire, but you also want to be quick. That's going to be the big downfall. Also, getting in and off of pit road. If you get a good pit entry, you got to have a good pit road exit, as just because you can get through the gears pretty quickly, the apron at Rockingham is just a little bit too slick for those fresh tires, and it could eventually bite you in the rear if you're not too careful.
Right. Yeah. And same with you, Dylan. I ran this in the Vintage Series here in Core. Also, I've done other leagues at this racetrack, and this track seems to be very kind to me. And some other drivers they haven't been too kind to. But the main thing I'm going to be looking for, you said you're looking for the pit exit. I'm going to be looking off of turn two, that treacherous going down Thunder Alley, down the backstretch into turn number three. So people looping it off of turn number two, just trying to get into the gas too hard. You kind of want to just roll it into turn number one, baby it just a little bit, feather it if you say, and then getting that good run off of two so we can set up passes going down into turn number three, and then probably running the outside. A lot of stuff happens on the outside of turn three and four, so maybe trying to get that run off of four set you up down back into turn one. But as you said, we've done plenty of laps here. I've done an ARCA official race when I first got into iRacing here, and finished top five every time I raced. So I was able to gain some I rating on that. But yeah, this is a fun little track. I'm glad that in real life they had the bill that passed in North Carolina, and so they're gonna revamp this track along with North Wilkesboro. So it's good to see two historic NASCAR tracks coming back to life, and I'd hope to see the Cup Series come back here eventually one day.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. I don't know about the next gens coming here, as you know, this track is very bumpy, and those cars just don't have a lot of clearance underneath them. I did, however, take a next gen to the Rock in another league that I used to run in on Monday nights with Wes Fuller. And that was a disastrous race, as those cars just bottomed out going through the turns and they just wouldn't turn. So that's going to be another challenge if the Cup Series does come to the Rock. And it's just, you got to watch corner exit too. I mean, it just like how, you said getting into pit road and doing all that stuff, making your passes on the outside. The outside can and will work. It's just how much trust do you have in this new ARCA car to not get a little bit loose coming out of the corners on turn number two and turn number four.
Yeah, we know iRacing had that major update. Didn't really change anything aerodynamically. I think I haven't ran the Anker car since the new update came out, but I believe it made the car, handle a little bit differently than what we saw in the past. So, yeah, new setups, a new scan. So, yeah, we're gonna see hopefully some good racing here tonight, here at the Rock. But one of the things I'm looking for as we're in qualifying is, yep, there he is, P number one. It didn't surprise me. It didn't take him to get to the top of the charts That's my brother, Mark Gonzalez, running a 24.294 as we're 2 minutes into qualifying. Mark Thomas running second, and you got Paul Owens. You know, those are three consistent drivers that we see at the front of these races. When Mark decides to show up, we all know his nickname, No Show Gonzalez. He had a work trip last week to Miami. Good to see him back out here this week. And then we have Tyler Bramble, Katie in fifth, Brendan Polt in sixth, Booker in seventh, Matt Crockett in eighth, and then Joseph Sullivan in ninth. I believe we have 10 drivers, if I'm not mistaken, here tonight, Dylan. I'm not in the session, as you know. I had too much gigabytes to download in iRacing from the work laptop, so I didn't want to have to sit on a hotel Wi-Fi and wait for that to download. So currently not in the session as we speak. But you know what? We're gonna make the best of it as we're here tonight here at the Rock.
Yeah, we actually have 12 drivers out here on tap tonight as I think maybe a lot of people are a little bit scared of the Rock. It is a little bit too tough to tame. It's kind of like Darlington in a sense, the way that your car drives at Rockingham. I mean, with Mark Gonzalez running that 24.294, those are about the same times that you'll get in an 87. When we ran these 87s here a couple seasons ago, I qualified on pole with a 24.2. And these cars and the Arca car or the Arca cars and the 87s are kind of similar in that aspect with times. Now, granted the 87s are a little bit more floatier than the Arca cars, so you're going to see a lot more tire wear in the 87 over the Arca car, but after running the officials at Rockingham in the Arca series, it doesn't take very long for those tires to just go away from you. So you might see a little bit more patience from a lot of guys. They know they took that 30 minutes of practice. Hopefully, they were practicing pit stops. They were practicing getting on the pit road, getting off a pit road, and trying to work on how this car will run in a pack. Granted, a lot of stuff can happen. We could possibly see 2, 3 wide racing, or maybe even 4 wide. But in my opinion, I wouldn't want to try to put that car 3 or 4 wide just because, due to the fact that, anything can happen. Something along the lines of I get loose on the outside, come back down, pulling a Mark Thomas and Paul Butler last week at USA. Mark Thomas gets a little bit loose on the outside of Paul Butler, tags him, and causes an accident. So that's another thing that you really have to watch out for is the looseness. Now, once the tires get a little bit worn and it gets some rubber down on the track, you won't see it as much, but you'll definitely see the car push and plow going into the corners. They don't want to turn anymore. So that's when you got to sit back and watch how your car enters into a corner. If you notice that you're turning the wheel left, but your car's still going right or straight, you're going to have to start backing up your corner just a little bit more than usual and try to get that and try to find the run off the corner to see if you can advance your position anymore or get through the field as cleanly as you possibly can.
Yeah, and with 12 drivers in the field, Dylan, we're probably not gonna see a lot of lap traffic tonight. So yeah, you just gotta bide time, be patient, do what the car wants to do. And you know me, when I'm in one of these races, I just buy time. I'm patient with it. And I don't try to make any abrasive moves to try to burn my stuff up. I always want to put myself in a good situation because you want to be there at the end, especially at one of these races, especially at Rockingham, with the way that it's kind of not a short track, but it's not a mile and a half, and but it has the high banks to be a mile and a half, and yeah, two different ends, as you said, like Darlington. One's a little bit tighter than the other, so it's not a cookie cutter. We don't want to say that, and it's not a short track. So, what kind of do you label Rockingham as? As you don't know what it is. Is not a super speedway. We know that for sure. So,
I
you want to
mean,
label probably an intermediate. It's hard to label what Rockingham really is.
to me, honestly, it looks and drives the same as Phoenix. You get good runs going into the corner. You can get a good run off the corner. I feel like this track is kind of like Phoenix in a way, just less bumpy or more bumpier than Phoenix. But while we are sitting here waiting for qualifying to get through, we're actually going to bring in our in-race reporter. I chose him out of the hat of a drawing that I never really did. But we're looking at the EOL 50 of Mark Trisket Thomas. Ricky, you two have a little bit of history
Well,
here as we're going to bring
well,
Mark Thomas into the booth, and he's going to give us a little bit of a rundown on how the tires were looking in practice and what the fuel calculations are looking at as we have 70 laps tonight on tap for Rockingham. And what lap, Mark Thomas, do you think we'll finally be able to see you guys go down pit road?
oh, the tires look black and round. So I'm hoping that's going to work out for me tonight. That's the fuel. I don't know. On a really harsh run, I'm looking at about I don't know, probably about 45, maybe 50. I don't know. It's going to be it's going to be tough because this place is going to kill that right side front. I don't know. I'm just going to go round. I'm going to turn left, and if something gets in the way, I'm going to turn more or less, depending on the situation. But
Knock
that's
that
what that's
88
what.
out, buddy. Just do
Yeah,
Well,
that for
I
me.
mean, if the 7 car was out there, would you turn more or would you turn less?
no, I wouldn't turn at all. I just put hard down. Oh dear, I missed the brake. What a shame. I'm really sorry. What
Hey,
can I
the
say?
break's in the middle, buddy.
Is that? You know what? I was always wondering what that pedal was for. I mean, I just thought it was there to look pretty. Just
Well, Mark, we're going to have you go back down to your little quiet room and think about what you're going to do on Thursday night as we enter into Pocono. And I'm pretty sure Mr. Ricky Gonzalez will be there for that. So maybe you won't have to turn at all and you just take him straight up through the tuttle turn. And
I'm just going to draft him all night. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick to his bumper. I'm going to let him drag me round the track for the whole night until half a lap from the end, and then with my excess fuel and speed, I'm going to pass him. That's what I'm going to do.
All right, Mark. Well, we're going to go ahead and let you get ready to go. And hopefully, we'll be talking to you end of this thing. I mean, you've had a real good speed all season, and hopefully, you can put it up in victory lane or a podium spot tonight.
That's the plan. I'm hoping.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, I want to say thank you to all the viewers out there in the YouTube chat supporting the CRN broadcasting services as myself, Ricky Gonzalez, Carl Handwer, Jimmy Covert, and some new additions to the CRN family as we bring you coverage pretty much all week long on CRN, starting off with Sunday night in the Premier Series. I was not able to do that last Sunday due to internet issues. And then Monday, we have our little podcast feel as we're all in the car at the same time and we're just letting everything go on that. And then Tuesday nights you're back here with myself and Ricky Gonzalez up in the booth as we get ready to tackle the Rock for the first race. And then we have Texas tonight, and then you'll also see Carl and Jimmy in the UCRL Truck League as they're going to take off and do a little bit of broadcasting tonight on that. And then Wednesday night the ECRC league has been over, and now we are moving on to the IndyCar series as I'll be back in the booth. And then Thursday night, we're going to end out our 87 series at Pocono. It's been one hell of a ride this season. I was trying to go back to back championships, but I've had some championship implications at some tracks. Carl, if you're still watching the stream, yeah, you and Jimmy got to laugh at us at Homestead Miami Road Course. I was not fond of that, but hey, got to have a road course in every single schedule. And then we'll be back here Sunday night with that stuff going on. So a lot of stuff on CRN to be watched and observed. But before we get ready to show the grid, or get ready to go racing, I'm going to go ahead and run down these qualifying order. As we have Mark Gonzalez, the brother of Ricky Penalty Gonzalez. Oh, I'm sorry, Ricky Broadcaster Gonzalez in
There
P
you
number
go.
one. And then we have Mark Trisket Thomas in second, Paul Jelly Owens in third, Tyler Bramble in fourth, Adam Keating in fifth, Brendan Polt in sixth, Derek Booker in seventh, Matt Crockett In 8th, Joseph Sullivan. In 9th, Caleb Collins in 10th, Jimmy Inslee in 12th, and John Crane rounding out your 12-car field. I know it says my name in there, guys, but I promise you, I am not racing tonight. I am just going to be here and doing a little bit of observation work. So while we get ready to go here, I'm a little bit far behind here. Going to go ahead and change it on over here. We're actually going to look at these nice looking paint schemes here as they're getting ready to do a little bit of a pace lap here. Go ahead and run through these paint schemes for you guys. With that number 88 of Mark Gonzalez here. And let me refresh my paint scheme. So give me one quick second, as I don't think I had trading paints open. I did not, as I'm going to have to reopen trading paints here. But while we do that, we'll go ahead and run down them. Mark Gonzalez in that number 88 machine, a Mountain Dew Livewire. The number 50 of Mark Thomas, but we ran out of time, Ricky, so
Yeah.
we're going to have to do this another time. As Barney the flagman, you see him right there. Look at him. He's got the green flag in his hand, ready to get these guys into racing mode. As we're getting ready to go green, Mark Gonzalez on the point. And in 3, 2, 1, we are racing back at the Rock. And they're going to go down into turn number 1. Going to see who's going to lead the first lap. Mark Gonzalez on the inside going to try to pull away from that number 50 and 54 machine, as the top 3 have pulled away to a little bit of a gap.
Yeah, we see Mark Gonzalez into that early lead. Both Marks running into the second position. Paul Owens trying to get that Parker Kligerman paint up to the front. I said it earlier in the broadcast, Dylan. These 3 are going to be the ones to beat. And it's going to be interesting to see what Mark Gonzalez does. Does he decide to start saving tire now? I know Mark likes to run the car pretty quick and fast and try to build that lead. But if I'm Mark, I'm in the catbird seat right now and sitting in that first position as Mark Thomas makes his move on Paul Owens, moving him into the second position. Jelly trying to fight back on the outside, but Thomas will hold him off. And so now, yeah, you got the favorites of this race running 1, 2, 3 at the moment.
Yeah, these guys are running 1, 2, 3. We're going to go ahead and go back to the field here. Tyler Bramble having a little bit of a battle on his own with number 03 of Adam Keating here. Adam's just trying to ride behind him, doesn't want to make any sudden movements, especially being lap 3 out of or lap 4 out of 70, as you could say, as Adam Keating trying to find his way back up to that podium spot just behind the number 39 machine. And then you got Brendan Polt making his move on the number 76, got around Joseph Sullivan, and then number 76, Charlie Brown machine. And then right behind Joseph Sullivan, you got Matt Crockett in the number 10. And then John Crane in the 56, Jimmy Inslee. And there you just seen Jimmy Inslee got a little bit loose coming out of turn number 4.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we talked about in the pre-race show before we went green today is that treacherous turn number 4 and even turn number 2. That's something you don't want to do. You don't want to slide the back end of that car, get the rear tires as hot, and then next thing you know, you're in the inside barrier just because you looped it. As we look on the Cartoon Network machine, Caleb Collins buying some time. He's probably still trying to learn the track. It's still early on. We're only 6 laps into this thing, and we all know it's not a sprint. It's a marathon to get to these things. But Caleb probably going to fill the car out a couple times as we go around here, and then I expect him to be there at the end with that 72 machine.
Yeah, that was one of the drivers that I actually took the time just before we went live and helped him out. With me being really good at the Rock, that's just what I like running. It's just one of those tracks where I can just get around it nice and easy. As we got the number 50 machine and the number 10 Valvoline car, so repping Scott Speed out here, as he's in that number 10 Valvoline machine. And the front 3 have just checked out. They're in a whole different area code. The number 11, and we have a pass. Tyler Bramble on the inside
Going
of
back
the number
through.
071. He's going to keep it down low, get a little bit loose. It's going to make him lose that position. And now Brendan Polk's trying to make his way back up to P number 5 and see if he can't just get up to that number 03 of Adam Keating.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder if these guys are starting to save tire now. These guys, you can hot lap for only so much time in one of these cars before the tires start to eat up. As you see, most of the drivers starting to enter a little bit higher and then take that little diamond arc as they come off of turn two. Minus John Crane, who ran the outside as he had a car on the inside. But yeah, I'm starting to wonder if some of these guys are starting to fall off just a little bit or if they're just trying to buy time. As we see Matt Crockett trying to look to the inside, he had a run. Looks like it was blocked by the 39, and he's going to try to dive it into him. This is going to be tricky. Slides up a little
Oh!
bit, and Bramble's still gonna. Not Bramble. It's Bramble. Bramble gonna hold on to the position, and Crockett's still trying to get around him. This is where you got to be patient, Dylan. You know you're on the inside. You don't want to slide up into the guy in front of you, and try to get that dreaded EOL. But Matt Crockett doing everything he can to get around that 39 so he can set sail on Brendan Polk.
Yeah, I mean, the
Oh,
more
39 in the
the
wall.
Bramble into the wall, they're getting into turn number 1, not having any damage on that number 39 machine, but now Matt Crockett's going to be able to get a little bit of a nose in front of that number 39. Now, with these guys running side by side, they're burning up their stuff because they're trying to get more track position when they're just, instead of just trying to be a little bit patient. Matt Crockett took a couple laps trying to get around the number 39, not able to do so. But back here, we got another battle. The 56 of Jimmy Isley. He's going to get around that number 76 machine nice and easily as Jimmy Inslee moves himself back up to P number 8. And then Caleb Collins. He's on the move
Yep.
now as he's starting to make his way up. And we have another late entry as Paul Butler is now
There
out
he
here
is.
on track. Probably got tired of getting his butt whooped in jiu-jitsu, and now he is out here racing with these guys as he is looking to make his first laps at Rockingham. And there we might have a three-wide situation here. The 39, the 56, and the 76 all under a blanket. The 39 is going to
Yep.
back out of that little bit of a battle. And Joseph Sullivan did not take it three wide, so better judgment on his part. And now you can see everybody's
Oh,
running that
Caleb in the
high
wall.
side as we look there. The 72 of Caleb Collins just getting a little bit into the throttle or not letting off the throttle enough and getting into the outside wall.
Yeah, we have 5 cars right here, Dylan. They're probably within a second and a half of each other, trying to get every position they can before we set ourselves up for green flag pit stops. We heard Mark Thomas. He said we could probably go, was it 40 to 50 laps? So we're looking at one stop. Hopefully we get a caution. They want a caution early because tires are going to be a premium. And one of the things I love about Core, Dylan, is we don't have a tire limit. These guys have unlimited tires as we have
Oh,
Joseph Sullivan off the pace. Looks like he
oh,
slapped the wall. Front damage on that right side of the machine. We're gonna have to go back and take a look, Dylan, on what happened to Joseph Sullivan. He was in that little 5 car mix-up that we saw for position. Did he just get a little high?
yeah, not sure exactly what happened to Joseph Sullivan here. We're going to actually going to slow
Oh,
it
got
down.
loose.
He's going to get a little
Whoa.
bit loose coming out of turn number 3 and 4. Going to slide up right in front of the Cartoon Network. Rutrow Shaggy as Caleb Collins does an evasive mover, ends up missing Joseph Sullivan. But you hate to see it as Joseph Sullivan has to use one of his faster pairs here. And he is finally making his way into pit road. You can tell that his front right is broken, and now he's got to take that long, dreadful drive back into pit road.
Yeah, and with the new update that we had on these Arca cars, it seems like they changed the damage model to it also. So you get in that wall. I saw some of these drivers today do a couple laps before we jumped into the booth tonight, just trying to do a little homework on some of this Arca Menard series, and he slapped the wall and broke the front end suspension. So the suspension is what's critical on these things, and that's unfortunate to see Joseph Sullivan in the wall getting loose off of 4. And we talked about that, Dylan, getting loose off 2 and 4. And sure enough, there it was, bit him. As we see Caleb Collins now trying to make that move. He's trying to get that Cartoon Network Scooby Doo machine to the front, make the pass on Jimmy Inslee. And maybe Caleb now, 20 laps into this thing, has figured it out. And hopefully he can go get up there and battle Gonzalez, Thomas, and Owens before this is all said and done.
Yeah, he actually took his time getting up through the field, but with him going into turn number one, you see there on the track map, he's making his way around Matt Crockett, gets around
Good
him, so
move.
move him up to P number 7, or 6, I should say, as Caleb Collins has went from the back to the middle of the field. But like I was saying, look, Mark Gonzalez is halfway down the backstretch now, and Caleb Collins just went past the start finish line. So now it's kind of, I really got to get in this motion and into this rhythm as the
Oh,
72 is
get
going
out
to
of
hit the wall there. We're going to go ahead and get off of his car so I don't keep giving him a little bit of broadcaster's curse here. But,
Right, right.
it's just, it is kind of go time. You don't want to be put a lap down just as Paul Jelly Owens gets into the wall there. And you just don't want to be trapped a lap down just in case this stuff does go green flag the whole way. Now, what's good about these ARCA cars, you get in-car adjustments. You can change the brake bias. You can move it to the front. You can move it to the back. Granted, before you get in the car, normally I'm going to give these guys a little bit of secret since they're already going. But I put my brakes all the way forward. And in my in-car adjustment, I move it all the way to the back. It kind of contradicts
So,
itself, but hey, it works for me. I run a 14 to 1 steering offset, 60% on my brake bias, and go from there. No offset, just leave it alone. I want that wheel as straight as I possibly can. As Paul Owens almost got into the wall going into turn number one, he's going to try to make the high side work. Kyle Larson line for that number 54 machine. He's going to move up to P number 2.
yeah, we see him move up. We knew he was quick as he passes Mark Thomas, who's running that Scott Riggs paint scheme. It looks like it's a 2003 paint from when Scott Riggs was in the Cup Series. So, but we'll move Paul Owens up to the second spot. We saw earlier the number 77 machine. Oh, Jelly in the wall. Got to get out of there. Got to see if he has any damage. But we saw the 77 machine of Paul Butler. He was able to get around those two. He's on fresher tires, and I'm sure Paul's just trying to salvage this thing out at some point, as we know he likes to do his jujitsus on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Um, so hopefully we'll see Butler in the next race over at Texas Motor Speedway have a great run. And he was the only driver, Dylan, last week that I recall that used the double points. So Paul Butler, the only driver so far this season to use double points, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good point. We do double headers all week or every Tuesday night, so you're gonna see these guys get a chance to use double points when they want to use them. But a guy that we have to pay attention to that's on the move is the number 72. He is currently P number 5, has passed Brendan Polt, and is putting down some pretty reasonable lap times. Yes, they are a little bit slower. They started out in qualifying and on this race, running 24s, but the leader's running a 25.5, and the guys mid pack are running 26s. So times, you're looking about 2 second difference on times. And Caleb Collins has that high side rolling right now. It's for the rock. You always want to be on that high side. Don't want to give somebody the opportunity to make that pass on the outside. Oh, Caleb
Oh,
Collins hard into the wall. Going to
22.
come back
Oh
down.
no.
Oh, he's
Save
loose.
it.
Oh, he might have a broken right front toe link as he pounded that wall coming out of turn number 2. And you see it there. The 72 is going to lose all those positions, as you hate to see it, but we got to hit you with that core motto, as it is sucks to suck. But as we look right here, Mark Gonzalez still leading the field. Just got around the number 76 machine. Now he's going to start working on the number 86 of Derek Booker. Remember last week when he got to the
Oh,
Paul
Butler.
Butler into the wall coming out of turn number 2. As we seen last week or 2 weeks ago at Chicagoland, the 86 was actually stopped right in the middle of the track. Your brother was able to get around him on the outside just barely. So this could be a bad show for the number 86, as he had to check up a little bit too
Oh.
much. Mark Gonzalez almost got ran over by the number 76. Good avoidance by the number 76 to hit his brakes just a little bit harder than he normally wanted to, and that allowed the number 88 of Mark Gonzalez to pull out even further out front of that number 54 machine.
Yeah, we saw Joseph Sullivan earlier in the race break that right front suspension. He came down pit road, probably changed four tires and burned a faster pair, so we know he's quicker than our leader. But if I'm Joseph, you just got to be patient, especially in that predicament. He was patient. Mark kind of, I guess you want to call it, our so-called Arca Breakum, as he was trying to get around Derek Booker, but able to clean sail. But Dylan, this is a close battle. That battle for the second position. Mark is just in another dimension, another level with these guys. He's almost got a 9.5 second lead as we take a look back. It looks like Jelly's starting to pull away from Thomas. Thomas might want to consider coming down pit road. I'm interested to see who's going to short pit. You know, freshies are a big thing. Thomas scrapes the wall just a little bit in the middle of 1 and 2, but I'm interested to see when these guys come to pit road to get freshies. That way they can make a run towards the end of this race.
Yeah, that's another thing with these ARCA cars is, these are the older generation of the stock cars. And if you look at them at a certain angle, Rick, I'm pretty sure you can attest to this too, because I know you're a big racing fan, especially with, you being a fan of the Hackster. Um, the rear end kind of is offset a little bit from the front. So it looks like these cars are dog walking or crab walking, so to speak.
There you go.
So basically, the rear end's going to be sitting out just a little bit more to the left than the front end. But we promise these cars are going straight. The suspension's not broken in these unless they, get a cold trickle slash Rowdy Burns wreck, like in Days of Thunder. But you know, if the rear end just grabs the wall just a little bit, that's just going to suck the front end into the wall with it, and that could spell disastrous. As we got the number 86 and the 72 are down to pit road.
Yeah, if I'm Caleb, you know you damaged the right front. Derek Booker, um, you know he already went a lap down. So yeah, if I were to go a lap down, that's definitely the move I would do. Get some freshies on it. Let Mark keep doing what he's doing. You're going to be quicker when you come back out on track, and hopefully you can get that lap back. I know you're going to go a minimum 2 laps down as we go into the green flag run. As you see Sullivan trying to get one of his laps back from Mark, see if he can get around them. It looks like Paul Butler made it around both of them, so you can get Butler one of his laps back. And you never know in one of these things, Dylan. You keep running these laps. There was some times where I just wanted to quit when I'm running a race, and thankfully I have such really good teammates who encourage me and stay in the race. And so you never know what could happen. You know, something could happen to Mark, something could happen to any of these guys. And as we're gonna go back, looks like the 11 is slow entering turn number 3. I don't know if he's gonna tow it. Interested to see what happens. He's gonna come back up the track. Almost takes out Thomas. Looks like he's just gonna tow it, take it back to pit road, and try to get some damage fixed.
Yeah, not sure exactly what happened to the number 11 machine. Is he still sitting there on the side of the road? As now he has towed it into pit lane. But Joseph Sullivan is now under our race leader, going to try to make that pass, not able to get the good run off. And that's another thing, being on the inside, you got to really play with the throttle just a little bit more than what the outside does. The outside can get into the corner a little bit harder and a little bit faster and keep that speed and momentum up, where the guy on the inside's got to pedal the throttle, have a little bit more consistency and not slide up in front, as Joseph Sullivan was able to get around our race leader of Mark Gonzalez.
Yeah, that'll put him only 3 laps down now as we complete 41 laps. And if I'm Mark, I mean, as I said, he's in his own zip code. And you can call it whatever you want. That guy is just gone. If I'm Mark, I'm probably going to run this tank dry because you never know what could happen. Just you have such a big lead, and I just don't see anybody catching him. But it looks like we have Owens and Thomas and Bramble in pit road. And here comes our leader, Mark Gonzalez with Brendan Pohl, hopefully to the line. Not going to get a speeding penalty. He pushed the issue there as he taps the inside wall coming to pit road, and there's so many nicknames I want to say because he is my brother, but that's a different day and a different broadcast. But Mark going to come down, hopefully get some freshies and make his move. He's led wire to wire so far, so interested to see if he can lead all 70 laps.
Yeah, you see there, he was trying to get into his pit stall there, was running the inside. And that's something you don't really see is guys hitting the pit road wall while inside of pit road. You see guys getting loose coming off the corner and just sliding and making your car into a little bit of a pack and play toy set. as the 86 has gone around. I'm gonna go see and look back here, see what happened. As we take a look back, we're going to see the number
Look.
86 Army Machine. He's
Oh,
just going to get loose coming out of turn number 3 and 4. Going to get loose and put it into the grass.
David.
He was able to save it though. Good driving by the number 86, and he's going to get
Oh.
his little bit of a Joey Logano burnout style going on here. As he's going to get back on the track and get it back going. But look at Marcus.
Oh.
Oh, he's a little bit
Oh.
loose. Able to keep it off the wall. Good save by the number 88 machine as Matt Crockett, the Rocket, is your race leader. But the more and longer Matt Crockett is out on those old tires, Mark Gonzalez is going to get super close. As Mark Gonzalez's last lap was a 25:09, and Matt Crockett's running a 27-28 second lap time. So 2 seconds to make up a gap, that's going to be nothing compared to these fresh tires, as it looks like Matt Crockett's going to go down into pit road this time by. No, he is not. He's going to stay out another lap, and that's going to inherit the lead still to Matt Crockett. Matt Crockett was able to lead that lap just before he let the 88 go by, and now 88 resumes the lead, and he's got so much of a bit.
Oh.
Oh, the 86 gets a little bit loose coming out of turn number 2. And Matt Crockett able to get around him, and he's going to go into pit road this time by. As you know, getting into pit road, you really got to know how to do it. As Matt Crockett goes into pit road, and that should do it for pit stops tonight.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed, Dylan, is he entered the apron in the middle of 3 and 4. Gonna lose a lot of time trying to get back up through the field. One of the things me and you do, Dylan, is we see those three. There's three dotted lines that go down. It marks the 3, 2, 1 and down to the pit. I guess you can say the start of pit road where you need to be at the certain speed for this track. I'm guessing today it's going to be 35 to 40 miles an hour pit road speed. Um, so yeah, he lost a lot of valuable time trying to get down to pit road. I'm staying on the banking as late as I can, and then hooking that left over to pit road. I just, yeah, so much time was lost right there for Matt Crockett.
Yeah, and especially with him being out on those older tires, when the tires and brakes are a little bit warmer than normal, you kind of don't want to press the issue getting into pit road. And, he took the cautious route, which is good. But he did lose a lot more time as he's about to get passed by Adam Keating here, not for position, as Matt Crockett is down into P number 8. Adam Keating is in 4th, but right behind these guys is our race leader, Mark Gonzalez. Speaking of which, he
Oh,
gets into the wall a little bit. Mark Gonzalez scraping it just a tad, a little bit. We're going to actually, if I can get it to switch over, there we go. We're actually going to ride on board with number 88 of Mark Gonzalez here, get a good feel for what he's doing getting into the corner. Look how much baking there is at the rock. As you see there, he's running the inside in 1 and 2. And we're going to see if he takes a different approach to 3 and 4. No, he's going to run the inside again. And I think he knows something that these guys don't know, and he's going to get a good run coming off of turn number 4, but not able to close the gap anymore on that number 03 of Adam Keating.
and you know what's crazy is as he's riding behind these two lap cars potential, he is actually pulling away from Paul Owens. It was 12.9, and look at it now, Dylan. It's just growing. 13.7. He's gonna get it up to 13.8. And if I'm Mark, I'm just chilling. Just chill behind these lap cars. You're still making good pace. You're making good time. No need to put yourself in an unparticular situation as you are going to win this race by a mile. I'm just riding, just hang out, maybe try some different stuff. I don't know what to tell you, but I just don't see anybody unless we get a late race caution. I just don't see anybody catching this 88 machine. He is another galaxy. I'm tired of running out of stuff to talk about that 88 machine because man, I just see nobody catching him. And the closest battle we see is it Mark Thomas? No, it looks like it's Bramble and Inslee. They're the closest battle for position on track. Um, as you know, we can let Mark do what he wants to do. He's gone.
Yeah, I think as of right now, I think we need to turn these cars up, give the crowd a little bit of a taste of you love to hear it as we let you guys hear these nice roaring engines as we take a little bit of a break. All right, guys, we are back after that little bit of a you love to hear it. As that's like the first time I've ever done that. Normally, Ricky, we're always talking and never really thought about doing it, but here tonight I figured, give us a little bit of a voice refreshment as we're looking at Brendan Polt here and the 39 of Tyler Bramble and the number 56 of Jimmy Inslee. They're battling. But,
Yep.
buddy, if you're looking up here, Mark Gonzalez has an 18.1 second lead over Paul Owens, and then a 20-second lead over Mark Thomas. And then everybody from fourth on down is one lap down. So your brother is putting on a absolute clinic here tonight at the Rock, as we are 7 laps to go in this first race.
Yeah, this is the closest battle, Dylan, that we have on track of the 56, the 39, and Brendan Polt. And
Oh,
Polt in
Brendan
the
Polt! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
wall, gonna save it. Way to control the car, and Jimmy, way to not run him over. Good job, buddy. Way to drive that car and get around him clean. I don't know if Polt's gonna have a broken toe link or a broken suspension on that car. He's trying to wiggle it around, get a feel of the car. As we see Mark Thomas up in the third position. Here comes PB underneath him, and he'll get one of those laps back. But yeah, Paul Butler, you got a long way to go. Marcus is somewhere up there. Mark Gonzalez, that is. He's somewhere up there, unless he decides to run the road course here at Rockingham. That's a 19-second lead, Dylan, and it is growing quick. I wonder if he wants to try to lap the field. I feel like we should give him an extra bonus point if he does that, because this is insane on what's going on and what Mark's able to do as we're coming to 5 laps to go.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no other explanation on to how Mark Gonzalez found that late run speed. I mean, he was that fast throughout the whole run. Granted, he hit a little bit of the wall, just a little bit, but he's about to lap third place. I mean, he is right there. There he is coming into the picture. He's got 4 laps to go. Do you think he can catch up to third place and put him 1 lap down?
Oh yeah, I believe so. As we saw during the, you love to hear it. He was 6 tenths quicker over Paul Owens and Mark Thomas. Looks like yeah, he's gone. I mean, over almost a second quicker than Mark Thomas. I believe he can get to Mark Thomas. But if I'm Caleb Collins, I'm making it very difficult for Mark to get by, and put me a lap down. Oh, it looks like Thomas is going to let Caleb try to go on by. I'm not sure if Caleb is on fresher tires or not. Caleb just trying to salvage the night, trying to get to his home track also of Texas Motor Speedway. He'll get by, but yeah, look at that 88 machine coming off the corner sideways, and he's gonna try. He's trying his best to lap this whole field. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, and these guys have went 68 laps out of 70, all green flag. We had a couple of, misconstrueds going into the corners, but so far it's been a long
There it is.
green flag run, and there it
There it
is.
is.
P number 3 is 1 lap down. Now he's going to start working on Paul Owens. Not going to be able to get there in 2 laps, but for a man to go around this whole track, a 1 mile track, lap everybody but himself in second place, that is a feat in its own. I mean, the only other person to do it was Randall Robertson in the Truck League, and that man was on absolute rails. And
Oh,
Ricky,
Caleb.
we're going to see if you know your stuff. What track was it that Randall Robertson lapped everybody?
Well, I was in that race, and unfortunately, I got. I was not myself that race. I got a little heated that race, and it was at Bristol. Mark Gonzalez is going to take the checkered flag here. But yeah, that race was at Bristol. We'll have more on that conversation when we go to Texas, here in about 10 minutes. But Mark will win. Paul Owens will come in second. Mark Thomas will come in third. Adam Keating should come in fourth. Brambles in fifth.
Jimmy Inslee sixth.
Easily in sixth. Yeah, yeah. This
Brennan
hotel
Poole.
internet's starting to give me a little bit of problems. I'll let you finish this out for us, Dylan.
Yeah, as these guys are coming around to take their last green flag here. It looks like Brennan Poole will finish out P number 7, Matt Crockett in 8th, Caleb Collins in 9th, Joseph Sullivan in 10th, Derek Booker in 11th, Paul Butler in 12th, and John Crane rounding out your 13-car field. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on over to a little bit of a commercial break slash whatchamacallit, as these guys are going to get ready for our next race over at Texas. As a lot of people are from Texas. My exes live in Texas. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. Um, I don't do anything in Texas. Texas is just one big state of Cowboys fans, and it just, you just don't, you hate to see it. But we're going to go ahead and run down the finishing order for you guys one last time here before we cut to a commercial break. But with that being said, it is Mark Gonzalez leading from start to finish, getting the win here tonight. Paul Owens in second, Mark Thomas in third, Adam Keating in fourth, Tyler Bramwell in fifth, Jimmy Inslee in sixth, Brendan Polt in seventh, Matt Crockett in eighth, Caleb Collins in ninth, Joseph Sullivan in 10th, Derek Booker in 11th, Paul Butler coming home in 12th, and John Crane rounding out your 13-car field. So we're going to go ahead and cut to a commercial break at this time, and we will be right back at a new track, as this jet lag, Ricky, for me, not for you because you're already in Texas, but this jet lag
For
is going to
me.
get to me before the end of this night. All right, guys, we are back here with the Core Racing League Arkham and R Series, and as you can tell, we're not in North Carolina anymore. We took a expedition flight to Texas, and now we're in the big greatest state of Texas. Here, we're going to start with our interviews. We're going to go ahead and get the third place finisher of Mark Thomas into the booth here as I move him up here. Mark Thomas is Dylan and Ricky in the booth. You got a copy.
I do, my friend. Have I?
All right, Ricky. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and let you take over our third place finisher and let you run down the how his race went.
Yeah, Mark. We saw you coming in third. When we started this race, I said the top three were going to be, pretty much checked out. And that came to fruition. Just tell me, man, how did you think you could have anything for that 88 machine? As he looked like he was just on another planet and he was gone.
Nope, absolutely nothing at all. As a matter of fact, I was waving to him through my screen as he disappeared off into the distance. No, I had absolutely diddly for that man. I don't know what he'd done round there. I don't know who he'd spoken to. I want a suspension check. I want him that engine taken apart. I want everything because he just went. He was gone. It was It was an impressive display, mightily impressive display. He was just on another plane. I had short run pace. I could stay with him for about 2-3 laps, and then my right front just cooked itself, and he was just gone.
Well, man, we make the switch from Rockingham here to my home track, my home city, in Fort Worth to Texas Motor Speedway. What do you think you can have for that 88 machine or anybody else? Do you think we can see Mark Thomas in victory lane here in Texas?
I don't know. It's not as bumpy, and it's a bit more open and flowy, which tends to suit my style a little bit better than the short stuff. So, whether I've got anything for the 88, I have absolutely no idea. But this is slightly more my wheelhouse than Rockingham, that's for certain. So I'm just gonna keep it now to the floor and hope that I can stay with him.
Well, buddy, before we get out of here, is there anybody you'd like to thank on that car? We saw a different paint scheme this week. You're not rocking the
No,
Chevy from Days of Thunder. Is there anybody you'd like to thank on that car?
No, because this is a trading paints job. For some weird reason, it delivered. I don't know. Trading paints for me today is not happening. It's not working. I don't know why. It keeps putting the wrong numbers on my car. It keeps putting the wrong paint on my car. I don't know. But I would like.
We want to thank people, not complain about people.
Well, okay, sorry. I'll take it back. I'll take it back. I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank Simplicity, race@home.co.uk, Race Anywhere, yourselves for being in the booth and putting on a great display, Core for putting on the league, and just everybody out there. One point I would like to make, there was no cautions in that race, none. And for that track, with that many cars, that was an impressive display by every single driver out there.
Well, Mark, we'll let you get some practice here in Texas, and good luck, man. We're wishing you nothing but the best. And Dylan, we're going to bring in our second place finisher, and that is going to be the 54 of Paul. I call him Greg Ives because he's my crew chief in some other leagues. So we're going to bring Greg Ives into the booth now. And Dylan, I'll let you take it from here.
All right, Paul. This is Dylan and Ricky to the booth. You got a copy.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, first off, hell of a race with Mark Thomas and Mark Gonzalez. Not able to catch the number 88, but you stuck with him for a little bit. But what was the difference maker between the 88, yourself, and the number 50?
I'm not sure really. I generally can't answer that. I tested a little bit during the week and knew I would be confident on the long run, but Mark was just gone.
Yeah, Mark was truly gone. I mean, if he had another 10 laps, I think he would have had everybody but himself lapped, and he could have just sat there and did donuts for a whole half a lap before you guys even thought about trying to catch the man. But, I mean, you guys went completely green, a whole 70 laps at the Rock, which is pretty much unheard of considering of how bumpy it is, especially in the Arca cars or any car that you take to that track. in any discipline. So, kind of walk us through on how the first part of this race went to the end.
Well, I just started by trying to figure out where to go on the short run there because I was thinking there'd be a caution. As it went green, I didn't really know what to do, but I had the testing in my back pocket, so I knew move up, and just kind of run it out, which I did. And then pit stop came, and I knew I could just submit it in second at that point. There was no catching Mark, and I knew Mark behind me was going to burn his stuff up catching me because of how big the gap was.
Yeah, I mean, finishing P number 2 at Rock or yeah, at the Rock tonight. Now you move on into Texas. You're gonna have that same game plan that you had at the Rock, or do you think maybe you might have something for the number 88 machine here tonight?
I think I'll have some for him. I haven't gotten a clean lap yet here, so hopefully I can get a good lap and see what goes on. But I'm excited for it, and looking forward to moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, especially with last week, you swept both the short tracks, and now Mark's trying to sweep the two bigger tracks. But maybe you can play spoiler here tonight. But before we let you get on out of here, is there anybody you want to give a special shout out to?
I want to thank Ricky for giving me some pointers this week on Rockingham. It's not one of my best tracks. I'm not a very good intermediate track guy, so I'm just kind of hoping.
All right, buddy. Well, we're going to go ahead and let you go on down, and hopefully we talk at the end of this thing.
All right, thank you.
All right, Ricky. Well, we are now in the presence of Mark No Show Gonzalez. Well, actually, Mark Grimpack Gonzalez, as we've seen that car go from the front and just pretty much just stay there, just backed into another win. So, Ricky, we're going to go ahead and let you talk to your brother here and give his shout outs and how his race went. And he is now in the booth with us as Mark Gonzalez. Take it away.
Hey, Bub, it's your brother in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I got a copy.
Hey, man, it's good to see you running tonight. I know you were on a little work trip last week, but man, dominating at the Rock. Um, just kind of tell me, man, were you just chilling the whole time or pushing the car at all? You probably pushed it the first couple of laps just to get your gap, and then from there you were just gone. And I mean gone, gone.
No, I wasn't really pushing it too hard. I was just trying to rely on the brake to turn me more than I was relying on my wheel, and I feel like other people weren't doing that. So, and after a couple laps, you had to move to the top just to get that momentum off the corner, and I don't know if people were doing that as well.
Well, but you dominated that race, and I mentioned to the third place guy, we come to our home track. We were here a couple weeks ago for the Cup race. Do you think you can do it again and go and sweep the weekend? I know how much this track means to you, being able to race in our on our home track. Is there anything that you can do to try to sweep tonight?
Um, I haven't got much practice on the Arca car with this configuration, so I'm just trying to learn what it's doing and turn ones and two and what I need to do there. But hopefully I can secure that bag and get the win here. That way I can win at my home track.
Well, you got one big cheerleader here in the booth. Before I let you get out of here, man, is there anybody you'd like to thank on that car?
Yeah, I want to thank y'all for providing the broadcast. I also want to thank my girl and my boy for allowing me to race because it takes time away from family. So I'm just glad that they let me do it.
Well, man, I love you. I haven't seen you all week and won't see you probably till Friday. Be safe back home. Love you. Love Luca and Vanessa. And hopefully you can go get one now here in the home track.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck in the booth.
Yes, sir.
All right, that was our race winner from Rockingham. But now we're going to move on to the Texas Motor Speedway. We're going to give you a little bit of a track rundown. And Ricky, I'm pretty sure you know this track better than me. But, I mean, it is a 1.46 mile track. The temperature on track right now is 70 degrees. So these cars are going to be a little bit faster than what they would be in the daytime. The air temp, though, is 68 degrees. Not going to lie, being up here in Indiana, it's like 38 degrees here. I'd love some 68-degree weather at night. But, hey, beggars can't be choosers. But with that 8-mile-an-hour wind, it's looking more like 60% or 60 degrees. But I mean, the dog leg. The dog leg, the turn one's different than turn 3 and 4. Tires are going to be a big, big factor. I love Texas in the Arca car. I actually got multiple wins when they ran this track and car combo in the official series. So this is the track that I would really do good on, especially with the Rock, as earlier in the YouTube chat, Carl had a little bit of a comment on, why I love Rockingham so much and, why I am the way I am. And, just some stuff is just left better unsaid for Rockingham. But, Texas is another thing. They widened it a little bit, I believe. That's how it is in 1 and 2. Like, you got to run the Harvick line in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You can't really run up top in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, you can pretty much put your car wherever you need to be. And we're going to see some pretty awesome racing, and hopefully these guys can take that green flag run from Rockingham and put it over here to Texas.
Yeah, just a little bit about Texas Motor Speedway. As you know, Dylan, that is my home track. We were there 2 weeks ago for the race when we interviewed Mark. They repaved this track in 2015 and they reconfigured turns 1 and 2. They made it a little wider. Took a little of the apron out. Personally, I'm not a fan of this configuration in real life. And like you said, it's going to be on the bottom the first couple of laps, and then no PJ1 like they have in real life. But these guys can run that second groove just to get the runs off. And back in 3 and 4, turns 1 and 2 before we go to 3 and 4. Turns 1 and 2 is banked at 20 degrees, and then you go down the back, and then turns 3 and 4 is banked at 24. The reason they repaved this track is we had a cup race a couple years ago that some of the water was not draining properly here at TMS, and so they knew they had to get that fixed, and so they went ahead and repaved it. I am a season ticket holder out there, so anytime there's an IndyCar race, truck race, cup race, Xfinity, we go to those races, and boy, let me tell you, it was hot 2 weeks ago, but thankfully we got into the shade for the latter half of the race, so that was nice to get some of that. They took some bleachers out, which is nice because this place can hold almost 100,000 people if you include the infield. And you can see the front stretch, how long it is with all those grandstands. So they took every other row out. They put like a little table in front of you so you can kick your feet up. It's easier to get around people when you try to go to your seats. And then in the concourse area, they put in 5 massive long bars. So if you're 21, always drink responsible, first of all. But if you're 21 and up, they have a cool little area where you can go hang out, be in the shade for a little bit if it's too hot, like it was 2 weeks ago. And so yeah, that's TMS. You got the big TV on the back. That's the biggest TV in the United States. So it's even bigger than the ones at AT&T Stadium where the Dallas Cowboys play. And that thing's pretty cool to be able to watch the race as they make their way around Texas Motor Speedway. So they call it the Great American Speedway for a reason. It's fan friendly. But too bad the racing product there in real life isn't what it used to be. I'm a big fan of old Texas Motor Speedway. And I'm hearing rumors too that they're going to reconfigure it again. I think with the PJ1 stuff, it hasn't produced much racing, hasn't put good quality on like they had back in the past. So, and with IndyCar coming here, it doesn't grip with the tires on those Firestone Firehawks. So yeah, that's a little description about TMS. Dylan, you know how much I love this track with it being a home state, home city, and all that stuff. So hopefully we can see some good racing here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Oh yeah, I mean Texas is gonna have a good running here tonight. We're actually gonna see about bringing in maybe a new guy into the booth here for a little bit of a track analysis for us. Brendan, 3 is not 4. Polt is going to be our in-race reporter here. He has gotten his laps in for qualifying. And Brendan, this is Dylan and Ricky in the booth. Get a copy.
I got you.
All right. Well, but you had a strong showing at the Rock, just nothing to compare to the number 88 machine. But kind of give us a little bit of a rundown on how tire wear is looking, and how many laps can you go on 1 tank of fuel?
Based off the fuel, I don't believe I looked yet. How many laps is this race? Like 70?
This race will be 50 or 55?
55. So, 55 laps. So I believe a half tank here at actually, sorry, excuse me, I can't speak today. A full tank here at Arca should last about half the race. Tire wear, considering you're not turning so much, it's kind of like a lift and coast, or some people like the trail brake. Tire wear may last just as long in the optimal ranges until it starts falling off as far as the fuel goes. So maybe lots of 4 tire pit stops today.
Yeah, I mean that with these guys having free tires, give or take, it's definitely going to be something to watch out for. Are you going to change your approach going into Texas here tonight, being a little less aggressive, or are you going to try to work your way back up to the front from starting P11?
It's kind of gonna be since we don't have any cautions in Rockingham, I'm feeling it's only a matter of time until we get our first one. So probably for about halfway, probably stay in the back, take a chill, then probably after the pit stop, that's when I would start pushing it and trying to get as high as I can. I gotta get higher than P6 for these points to count for tonight. So if we get anything lower, it doesn't really count. So let's push this.
All right, buddy. Well, we're going to go ahead and let you get back up there with these guys that you were talking to, and hopefully you can keep it off the wall, keep it straight, and hopefully by the end of everything, we'll be able to talk to you at the end of this race.
Oh, well, thank you.
All right, buddy. Well, you take care.
Mhm.
All right, that was the number 071 of Brendan Polt there. He's going to be our in-race reporter. And there's still about 2 minutes left of qualifying here, letting these guys get these extra laps in that they need. And while we do that, we're going to go ahead and go over to a quick little video for you guys and let you guys see what we have coming up on Sunday night, as we have the Premier Series, as I will be in the booth for that. So we'll be right back.
Target on my back, lone survivor last. They got me in the sights. No soul in the no trigger, fingers go, living the dangerous life. Hey, 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 every day that I wake, I'm trying to get up, they're knocking me down. Hey, 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 enemy to be saved. You're making me strong, you're making me stand. Shot like a rocket up into the sky. Nothing can stop me tonight. Make me invincible, great, powerful, just like a tidal wave. You made me brave, you're my titanium. Lights are raising up, like the roar of victory and its day. You can't touch me 'cause who can stop me tonight? You make me feel invincible. I feel it, invincible. I feel
All right, guys, we are back here at Texas. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that little bit of a video that we had there. And that's just a little bit of something that we do over here in the Core Racing League on Sunday nights. If that's something that you're interested in, we do a little bit of everything. I mean, Ricky, you've done the Premier Series. You know what it's all about. I mean, you guys, dirt, you got road, you got dirt road, you got oval. But it's all different cars. It's not just one car every week. And out there in chat, there's a guy that wants to know what seats are your season tickets in, and he wants to go there to see Indy at Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, so we sit in section 410. It's right after the Geico restart zone, right where you see, I'm trying to see what logo that is, right below the Gander Mountains logo as you see in the grass, right below there. That's where we usually sit. And the good thing about having season tickets too is before every cup race, we get to walk pit road. So that's pretty cool and pretty fun to have that opportunity to do. My girlfriend wasn't into NASCAR so far. She's loved the experience. We've been to Daytona together, and we've been to Texas, obviously. So yeah, that's pretty cool to have that experience for her to see, the cars up close, meet the drivers. She was able to meet Chase Elliott for the All-Star race, so that was pretty cool. But we're going to go ahead now and go through these qualifying results with Paul Butler. Can you believe it, Dylan? Paul Butler is going to be sitting on the pole here in Texas.
Yeah, Paul Butler is going to be your honorary pole sitter tonight. Adam Keating in P number 2, Matt Crockett in 3rd, Mark Thomas in 4th, Joseph Sullivan in P number 5, Jimmy Inslee in 6th, Tyler Bramble in 7th, Joe Morant in 8th, Caleb Collins in 9th, and Paul Owens rounding out your top 10. Then we're going to go into P number 11 with Brendan Polt, Derek Booker in 12th, Mark Gonzalez in 13th, and John Crane rounding out your 14-car field. Those guys did not set a time, so you're definitely going to see how aggressive Mark Gonzalez is going to be trying to get up through the field here as these guys are getting ready to grid. We're going to go ahead and bring up a different view for you guys as I get ready to go here. As we see Paul Butler there in that number 77 machine, we're going to go ahead and actually get through these paint schemes here now that we've actually gotten through it. Let me get...
Yeah, we got a bigger track here tonight in Texas, Dylan, so you're able to get through these paint schemes a lot quicker than what we did at Rockingham.
Yeah, as we look here, Paul Butler in that number 77 machine, RC Cola, Sweet Jenny. The 03 of Adam Keating, AK Racing. The number 10 of Matthew Crockett in the Liquid Death Mountain Water. The number 50/10 Scott Riggs, Scott Speed, whatever one you want to look at, Valvoline. The number 76, Charlie Brown, Joe Sullivan. The number 56 of Jimmy Inslee in the Chick-fil-A, Eat More Chicken, God's Chicken, I should say. The number 39 of Zero Given of Tyler Bramble. The number 013 of Joe Moret, sporting a new paint scheme this week. Love to see it. The number 72 of Caleb Collins in the Rut-Row, What's It New, Scooby-Doo, and then number 72. The number 54, the MSI of Paul Owens. The number 071 of Brandon Polt in that Ridgeline Builders, number 071. The number 86 Army of Derek Booker. The number 88 of Mark Gonzalez in that Livewire Mountain Dew. And the rounding out your 14-car field is that number 11 of Jonathan Crane. But as
So,
we
Dylan,
get ready to go back up here, we're going to go ahead and move it back up to our starter cam. And Ricky, since this is your home track, it's only fair that you get to call tonight's first initial green flag.
pace car will dive off to pit road. Paul Butler in command of the field. They're going to come to the Geico restart zone, and the green flag is out, and we are racing from the Great American Speedway at Texas Motor Speedway. Paul Butler will dive him off down into turn number 1. Adam Keating's gonna fill out that second position with Matt Crockett rounding out in 3rd, but there's one driver that I'm looking back, and he is in the 12th position, and that is our winner in Rockingham. That is Mark Gonzalez, as we're 2 by 2 for 2nd and 3rd. And these guys are fanning out everywhere. And Dylan, we're going to complete lap 1. It's going to be a clean lap 1 here in Texas.
Yeah, that's another thing that you don't want to do is cause a caution on that first lap because you go straight from an EOL straight to a 1-lap penalty. But, everybody was able to keep it clean, keep it green. And Mark Gonzalez is working his way up. He's already up 2 positions from where he started, or actually 4 positions from where he started. He started on the back row. Now looking to go to the inside of the number 54. The 54 is going to throw a little bit of a block. And now they're side by side in front of him is Caleb Collins. He's going to get around the number 39. Almost gets tagged by the number 39 of Tyler Bramble. Able to keep it off of him. We're going to go ahead and go up here to Caleb Collins. Get a different camera angle so that way you guys can see the whole track here. As Caleb Collins, he's going to start working his way on the number 56, but they are almost 3 wide in front of him as Mark Thomas almost tried to stretch the needle there going into turn number 3 and 4 as he's now underneath the number 03 of Adam Keating coming out of turn number 4.
Yeah, one of the things, Dylan, it is a night race, so we know there's going to be a ton of grip here at TMS as these drivers go probably 180 down into turn number 1, and they're probably going to hit 175 going down into turn number 3. It's still a very fast racetrack here at Texas, as these guys are battling really, really hard to get up to Paul Butler. We see the 03 Adam Keating trying to make a move on Matt Crockett. Crockett got up to second, and I don't know if those tires, you don't want to be on the outside lane here in Texas. They're just going to eat them up. You want to be on the bottom groove, and now as the tires wear out, as we get deeper and deeper into the run, you probably want to see that line that Mark Thomas is running right now. Try to get that run. As we said, no PJ1 here in Texas, but they're going to be almost three wide. There's Mark going underneath Caleb, and we still see the battle with him, with Keating and Crockett. And we have some good racing here in Texas. I wish the product in real life would match this as we see in iRacing.
Yeah, as I pulled up the dash there, you can see how fast these guys are going down the straightaway. Mark Thomas hitting 186 mile an hour down to
Oh,
166, and then he's right back down to 162 mile an hour. So you want to keep that momentum up, especially in these ARCA cars. Momentum is key. As Mark Gonzalez is up to P number 7, he's going to get to the inside of Paul Owens. Paul Owens had to get up just up on the wheel.
oh,
A little bit of a crossover by the number 54 machine. Oh, there's
they're
a big
spinning in the
wreck
back.
in the back. That's going to be a first caution, as we're going to go ahead and go back to that and see exactly what happened to the number, I'm not sure exactly, the 86 maybe? We're going to go ahead and jump to a quick caution here as we're looking here, and I'm going to go ahead and rewind it and slow it down here for you guys as we're going to take another look. So we'll go ahead and slow it down here. You're going to see the 86. He's already loose going through the corner. Gets it straightened back up, but that ever so slippery apron is going to play dividends. He's going to get a little bit loose again and just overcorrect up into the number 071. The 071 nowhere to go, and you have liftoff. There it is. The 86 will get credited for causing the first caution. The 039 or the 39 getting into the number 86 there at the end, and you hate to see it. These guys went green for so long, and now they're back under caution. And with that being said, I will be right back. All right, guys, we are back here. Had to do a little bit of a double duty there, as I have been summoned for the race control slash broadcaster here. The cause of that caution will be the number 86, as he was trying to get back onto the track and ended up looping it there, as he was able to get refired and get back going. He's going to bring up the end of the longest line, and that's going to give the lead there to Adam Keating. He's going to elect to take the inside, but look at Mark Gonzalez as he's back up to P number 7. Now it's just a matter of time. As you know, you've seen him go from P number 14 up to 7, so he's up 7 spots from where he started. How long does it take for that number 88 machine to get up back up to the front?
Yeah, I'm gonna say by lap 25, that 88 machine will be in the top three, maybe even in the lead, Dylan. But the one thing I noticed after pit stop is we saw Paul Butler lose a couple spots coming off of pit road. He'll be in the third position, and we saw how good his car was in clean air. Now he's gonna be in dirty air, and as you know, if you get behind a car, that thing likes to push. We have the pace car dive into pit road. Keating and Sullivan will bring him into the Geico restart zone, and Barney's going to wave the green flag. We're back underway here in Texas. As Keating will lead him down into turn number 1, and Paul Butler making that move into the second spot.
Yeah, Paul Butler is a man on the move, but they are 3 wide. Mark Gonzalez, Paul Owens, and looked like Matt Crockett, all 3 wide there for a quick second. But look at Caleb Collins in that Rut-Row Scooby-Doo machine. He's going to push it to the outside there. Not sure if that's what you really want to do, but now it is Mark Gonzalez up 2 positions from where he came back out from. And Mark Gonzalez is on a move. And now Joseph Sullivan up to P number 2, taking that spot away from Paul Butler. And now look at Adam Keating. Adam Keating has pulled out to a 0.7 second gap over this field.
Oh, Thomas High.
And Mark Thomas still up high, but look at that block by the number 88 on the number 54 machine. Now he's going to dive it down, get right up on that back bumper of the number 77, try to force him into a mistake. Don't want to get into him, don't want to ruin that perfect race that you just had. And now he's going to try to make his way up to P number 4.
Whoa, Paul Butler trying to block the 88. Yeah, if I'm Paul Butler, you don't want that 88 car to get by you. You want him to be behind you the whole time. Thomas going to try to use that high line, and we are 3 wide. Is this Talladega, Dylan, or are we at Texas? These guys are diving it down into turn number 3. Oh, and the 88 going to get into the back of the 77.
The 88 got in the back of Paul Butler there. We're going to go ahead and go back. He was able to save it. We're actually not going to go into the replay here. As the 88 has, now you see, he's backed up his quarter just a little bit. That was a little bit of a scary situation for the number 77. And with these Arca cars, you know, if you get right up underneath the back bumper, it's going to lift up the back tires. And after that, you're just along for the ride. You just let go of the steering wheel, let the car do whatever it's going to do. I mean, there's nothing else that you can really do. As it looks like Caleb Collins got a little bit loose going into turn number 3 and 4. He's going to come up off of the corner nice and easy. Paul Owens got it into the grass just a little bit, and now Matt Crockett is trying to challenge the 77. Not going to be able to get there, and now Paul Butler is under fire from the number 88 and the number 10.
Yeah, you see Paul Butler chop the nose on the 10, and it made the 10 just wash up the racetrack. Now he's going to be a sitting duck for that 88 machine. The 88 going to look to the inside, and the 10's going to cut the nose off of the 88, and you can see that 88 front end start to slide just a little bit. As these guys are racing pretty hard to try to get back to the front. Keating is going to be your leader, but it looks like that 50 machine is starting to close in. And then you have Owens, and then you have this group of cars back here. And I know Paul Butler wants to have him one. He wants to have some tequila time with some of his teammates in Caleb Collins and Mark Gonzalez. And these guys are trying their best, their absolute best to get back to that front, Dylan.
Yeah, they're really trying here as I'm going through camera views, giving you guys a little bit of a different feel for this track here as we go on top of the drone cam. And you see there, Matt Crockett just missed his corner exit. He's going to go up a little bit high, but look at that. The 88 started to drift up just a little bit. Maybe a little bit of contact between these two. No contact indeed for the 88 or 10. The 88 is trying to side draft him, take away from that inside from the number 10. He's going to hit the apron just a little bit, slide up just a little bit more. But Caleb Collins, big move from Caleb all the way up to P number 5. And he's keeping that number 88 machine of Mark Gonzalez at bay.
Yeah, Caleb Collins, too. This is a home track for him as well. He's located in Canyon, Texas, which is in West Texas, about hour and a half north of Lubbock, where my alma mater is. of Texas Tech. So big shout out to Caleb. He's another fellow Texas driver. As Mark now is able to get under the 7-7 machine of Paul Butler, and it looks like Paul's car does not like that dirty air. Um, so we're seeing him drift back a little bit, not handling the way he wants it to as it was early in the race as he was in clean air. As we make a look back up and a look at Caleb.
Oh, big
Caleb,
run. Oh, big
easy
checkup.
guys.
Easy. Look at that
Oh,
run that
wow.
Caleb Collins had on that number 76. He had to get hard on those brakes. That's going to allow Matt Crockett to make a 2-for-1 going into turn number 3. I don't know if they just misjudged the speed that Joseph Sullivan had, but they had to check up just a little bit more than usual. And we had a pass for the lead. Mark Trisket Thomas is your race leader as of right now. And now Matt Crockett's going to get around the number 76. The 76 is going to shut the
Slide
door.
job.
Slide job! Not able to make it happen as
No.
Joseph Sullivan is still on that right rear quarter panel. But here comes Mark Gonzalez. He's going to use that high side to his advantage. But now he's got the 76. He's going to force it 3 wide. The 76 is going to slide up in front of him. Going to take that run away from the number 76. The 72 on the inside. And Mark Gonzalez thinks better of it. Wants to keep that 0x. And here comes Paul Butler. These four. Oh, look at that power move through the middle. Power move through the middle for the number 88. He's going to jump up 2 positions. And here comes Paul Butler. He's going to follow him all the way through. And the biggest loser in all of that is the number 76, Joseph Sullivan. I don't know where that speed came from the 88, but he made them 2 cars look like they were sitting still.
Yeah, Mark's very good at this track, as we saw in his post race interview. Another home track for him, so he knows this track, how to race it, and with it being at nighttime, Dylan, he's not slipping and sliding everywhere trying to save tire. He's able to just put the power down and get around these guys. And I'm anxious to see he's going to set his sights now on Matt Crockett, but it
Yes.
looks like too. Paul Owens was able to get around
have
Adam Keating.
A wreck here on track. We're going to go ahead and look back. Oh, Derek Booker just turns the wheel just a little bit too much. It's not turning. See if everybody's able to get around him. He took it off track, so no caution will come out here as we move back up here. And it looks like Mark Gonzalez is trying to get back up to that number 10 machine of Matt Crockett. He's going to have a good run, going to look to the inside. Matt Crockett said, I already see what you did earlier. You can have it. I'm not even going to fight you for it. If you want it that bad, take it. I want to keep that number 10 machine as clean as I possibly can and move Mark Gonzalez up to P number 4.
Yeah, one of the things about Matt Crockett is he's a very clean, patient driver. If he sees that you're quicker, he kind of reminds me of myself. He just lets you go and lives to fight another day. But before we saw that wreck with Booker, looks like Paul Owens was able to move into the second position, and then Adam Keating is going to round out third. But a man on the mission, he is flying around this racetrack right now. Is that guy in the 88 machine of Mark Gonzalez? So he's going to set his eyes now on Adam Keating, try to get around him, and he's going to try to make another sweep as he wants to win here in Texas, his home track.
Yeah, looking as of right now, look how high Adam Keating's running. Look how low Mark Gonzalez is running. They're going to touch almost touching there going out of turn number 2, but the CRN biggest mover of the race is your brother, up 11 spots from where he started. So this guy is a man on a mission. Like you said, he loves Texas. He is born and raised in Texas. Looks like El Chapo's son, though, if you ever looked at Mark Gonzalez. And just a little inside joke between the Title Town Racing guys, no harm, no foul there. Even Joshua Billiter, the Joker Graphics, even said the same thing. So I have somebody on my side. But now look how much deeper Mark Gonzalez is diving it into the corners. He's got so much trust in this car at Texas that he's not worried about the tires. He said, screw them. We got to make a pin anyways. Might as well just run balls to the wall. And that's what we're seeing here from this number 88 machine as he's going to dive underneath the 54. And he's going to say, thank you, see you later, as he makes the pass for P number 2 going into turn number 3.
Yeah, he's going to make the pass clean on Paul Owens. If I'm Owens, I'm going to try to learn what that 88 car is doing. We see how fast from center off that 88 machine is, and he's able to just put a gap on people. So if I'm Paul, I'm gonna stick the the left front out just to get some clean air. As you see, he's getting the right front down, trying to get some clean air. And then as you see, Mark's just able to pull. Paul's able to stay with him just a little bit. But like I said, Dylan, if I'm in that 54 machine, I'm going to learn as much as I can behind that 88. See what he's doing to gain speed. And then now I'm going to try to make a move. And Mark's 2.5 seconds behind the other Mark Trisket Thomas. And Mark's going to try to run him down and try to take the lead here in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way that you had to do. You got to make sure that you can see what he's doing, try to mimic it as best as you possibly can, because I know for a fact I do the same exact thing with Chris Hamilton on Thursday nights. Me and Chris Hamilton are one of the top 2 guys in the Vintage Series. This season, it's been more of Chris and then sometimes me.
Oh, Jelly.
As it looked like Paul Jelly Owens almost got into the wall there coming off of turn number 4, but able to keep it nice and solid. As we're going to go ahead and look back through the field, Joseph Sullivan has Jimmy Inslee and Tyler Bramble in the 0 blank given car all over his back bumper. And right in front of them is the number 72, that's 10, and the 77 of Paul Butler.
Yeah, we see Tyler Bramble making the inside move on Jimmy Inslee, so he's going to try to move up one spot and set his eyes on that 76 machine as they come down into the quad oval here. And it looks like he'll make that pass, and so move the 39 machine up to the number 8 position, and he's going to set his sights now on Joseph Sullivan. You see all these guys starting to move up the track, but there's only one car I see that's, able to stick it to the bottom, and that's the 88 machine. As you see Sullivan, it looks like he got a little loose coming off the corner. It's going to make the run for the 39. He's going to get there, and he's running the high line again. No PJ1 here in Texas, so you want to be able to stick it to that white line, not clip the apron. You clip the apron as we saw in our first caution, and you're along for the ride. And Dylan, you said it. Jesus, take the wheel if you hit that apron.
Oh, yeah, especially if you hit the apron or if you get a car underneath that back bumper. I mean, with these style of cars, is just Sullivan's going to lose 2 spots in one corner there. But, with these cars, you can't bump draft. You can't really do anything. And when you get the back bumper of somebody, it's going to go one of 2 ways. You're going to spin or he's going to spin. Or, if you're like me and just don't care because you know what these cars can do, you can bump draft a little bit. There's a certain extent. Once you start seeing that rear end go up in the air, that's when you got to let off the throttle and let that car settle back down. If you don't, well, that guy's going to look at you and try to give you a kiss with his fist. So definitely want to make sure that you're not pushing the issue, as it looks like the 76 of Joseph Sullivan's going to bring it down pit lane this time by.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, Dylan, is the pit window open for them to make their final pit stop? But yeah, you're right on them. One man I'm looking at, and that lead is shrinking ever so slightly. He's got it. It was 2.5 seconds, and now it is even lower than that. And now it's 0.7 of a second. That 88 machine is just rocking around.
Mark Gonzalez into the wall.
Thomas in the wall.
Jeez, too many marks.
Pushed it.
Too many marks in this league. Too many Kevins, too many Marks. There's only one Ricky and one Dylan. That's all that matters.
Yep, that is all that matters. Because our parents are original, and they like to have
okay, look.
names that aren't as popular as these other guys.
we're going to go into a little bit of a baby lesson for me, okay? My mom wanted to name me Brock, my middle name Lee, and my last name McDonald. And my dad told her no, not happening. As we got a battle for the lead here, Mark Gonzalez on the outside, going to take the way outside. Not into the wall, but almost. And that's going to give the lead back to Mark Trisket Thomas. And now Mark Gonzalez is going to have to try to work his way back up to the back bumper of that number 50 machine. And the pit road is looking a little bit too spicy up here as the number 86 goes around on the backstretch yet again.
Yeah, we see, Dylan, some of these guys are taking that opportunity now to get that final pit stop with, Thomas, Gonzalez, Butler, Collins, Bramble, and Bolt and Crane yet to pit. This might be the move of the race. I'm going to keep an eye on that 54 machine and see how much ground he's able to make up. But going back to Mark Gonzalez, not really sure why he went really, really high in that Kyle Larson line. in 1 and 2. You don't make up as much ground as you think you do. But look at there, running the outside. Oh, Thomas is going to come to pit
Oh, they're
road. Oh,
both
so
gonna
is
come into
Mark.
pit
Both
road.
of them.
Look
John
how.
Force style.
Can he get it slowed down? Don't lock him up.
They both.
Able to get it down
Wow.
to the right speed, and that was a drag race. They both
That
made
was.
up a lot of time, able to get into pit road, and I've never seen Texas pit road that busy or even try to go too wide into pit road. I mean, especially with the Arca cars, you don't want to over accelerate or over brake as the back end can come back around. But Paul Butler is your race leader. He's going to put these guys one lap down, but with Mark Gonzalez and Mark Thomas coming out, it's only going to be a matter of time before they can get back through and get their laps back.
Ooh.
Almost getting back on track was number 88. You hate to see it. We're going to have to change his name from Mark No Show Gonzalez to Mark Pit Penalty ×2 Gonzalez.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see if he got a black flag right there. If he's able to keep this thing wound up for 3 laps, we know he's not gonna have a penalty. But I'm curious to see, with so many laps to go in this race, did these two guys only take 2 tires?
Oh, he's getting a little
And
bit
if I'm Paul
loose.
Butler, oh, I'm thinking he did take 2 tires with the way that car's handling off of turn number 4. And if I'm Paul Butler, yeah, I have the whole field trapped a lap down, which is really, really good and in your favor. And if I'm Paul, I'm probably only going to take gas only and try to salvage what I can, since we didn't have a good finish at Rockingham.
Yeah, and I'm thinking Paul might be waiting for a caution, and I just don't see it happen, as it looks like Paul Butler's going to go into pit lane this time by Paul Owens and Adam Keating able to get. Oh,
There it is.
Paul.
Pit penalty.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to get it slowed down. Mark Gonzalez going to spin on a pit road. Championship implications by the number 88. That's going to take him out of the running unless he gets a quick caution here. But a pit penalty for the number 88. And you hate to see it, but got to hit him with the core motto, Ricky, and that is sucks to suck. As that just spelled disaster for the number 88 machine. As I don't think he got out of pit road bad. I think he might have had a speeding penalty over everything else.
Yeah, he might have had a speeding penalty. I didn't see his tire hit. I mean, it hit the white line, but I didn't see it go over that white line. Not really sure what the issue was on that 88 machine, but I mean, things just went from bad to worse with him spinning on pit lane. We know he didn't make the pit road speed limit, coming to serve that penalty. So yeah, bad second race at his home track here in Texas, and that's gonna, you know, I told you, when we had that green flag pit stop, that 54 machine, I was keeping my eye on that. He's 2 tenths quicker than our leader at the moment, so he's slowly reeling him in. And Mark Thomas running the fastest lap of the race so far. So he's going to try to make some noise as well. And then we might see a 3-car battle before this thing is over with.
Yeah, we're actually going to bring up the best time here. See who's had the best time. Mark Thomas running the fastest lap of the race with a 30.090, which is kind of weird considering how quick Mark Gonzalez was running. He's only ran a 30.318, as he is now 2 laps down, so he's definitely going to need a caution just to get back into this race contention. But watching on board with the number 50,
Here you
the
go.
03 is going to
Boom!
get up into the wall, going to come back down. That right front is broken just a little bit. You can tell just by the
Oh, yeah,
camber.
he's.
The camber of that number 03 machine is
Wow.
tucked in just a little bit, as a lot of people would say, got stagger, got camber. Well, the 03's got it all, as he's getting ready to get passed by the number 50 machine of Mark Thomas. And, it just goes to show you how bad you really want to stay up front, as he's going to get a little bit tighter. Not going to get it up into the wall again, but that's going to inherit the lead back over to Paul Owens. And Mark Thomas is now starting to track down the number 54 machine of Paul Owens.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see Adam Keating get in the wall. Got a little tight off of 4, and then the second time by, he got a little bit more tighter. As we look here back in the little mid part of the pack, it's going to be Caleb Collins battling with Jimmy. I believe that's Jimmy Inslee. Again, I'm in a hotel room tonight, Dylan, and it's a little spotty for me. I know it's that purple machine, and I see Caleb's name, but I'm not really sure who's behind. I think it's Jimmy Inslee in that Chick-fil-A.
That is Jimmy Inslee in the number 56 Chick-fil-A. Eat More Chicken, God's Chicken, closed on Sundays. As they're trying to track down the number 76 Charlie Brown machine. As Caleb Collins gets a good run going through turn 1 and 2 onto the backstretch. Not going to have a good enough run to get to the back bumper of the 76. But this 56 is going to dive into the inside, not able to get there. But look at the run that Caleb Collins gets on the number 76. He's going to close up the gap just a little bit more. And we're possibly going to see a pass for P number 6 going into turn number 1.
Yeah, you want to see Caleb
And
try to
there it
get underneath
is.
the stuff. There it is. Probably burned his stuff up. Got into
Slide
turn number 1 a little
job
bit too
from the
deep.
bottom.
Slide job. Gonna make that pass and move the 72 Scooby-Doo machine up to the 6th position.
What to do?
Wow, and then you see Jimmy behind him too, trying to make a move on Joseph Sullivan. He's gonna try to move that machine up to the P number 7.
Yes, sir.
Trying to move that to the P number 7. Looking to the inside. And I think Sullivan just probably burned his stuff up and is getting down into turn number 1, not the way that he wants to. Carr's probably just plowing for him. And Inslee's going to make that pass look easy and move that machine up 1 spot.
Yeah, they were running each other pretty tight going through the tri-oval. Joseph Sullivan not giving him any room. Wanted to pinch him down. Show him like, hey, yeah, if you want to pass me, you're going to have to work for it. But doing that kind of messed up his entry into turn number 1. You've seen last week at Richmond, as, I didn't get to finish the race because, I flipped in the 87 series. But, it just, with it being a short track, it was a little bit harder to see what was going on. But, if you missed your entry, it kind of bit you in the butt, as we're going to have a battle for the lead here. Mark Thomas actually got around Paul Owens for the race lead on the outside. 2 trailer park girls go around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. Mark Thomas making it work in the number 50 machine. Paul Owens
And we
running
even had
number
a
2.
position.
Do what?
We had a position for 3rd, or the battle for 3rd. That even switched hands too, with Paul Butler moving that machine up to the 3rd spot. So good to see that 77 machine have a comeback race, as he had to join late in the session at Rockingham. But yeah, move that 77 machine up to a podium spot, and hopefully, if we get a late caution, that's the driver I'm going to keep my eye on to see if he can possibly steal one here at the Great American Speedway. But we're coming to 4 laps to go. Dylan Thomas is in the lead, but hey, Jelly isn't going away. He's still 4/10 back. So maybe Jelly has something for Thomas as they dive off down into turn number 1. Those guys are going to come off turn 2, and Paul's going to be able to dive it down in the middle of 1 and 2. So yeah, Paul needs a late caution to get himself back into contention of this race.
Yeah, I'm going to jump up here to the race leader here. Is you see he's kind of got it up to a 0.6 second gap on second place of Paul Owens. And I wonder if maybe since Mark Thomas took a later pit than Paul Owens, if that helped him with having a little bit more fresher tire than, the rest of the field. Mark Thomas and Amar Gonzalez, the Marky Mark show, were able to Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. There we go. That's what we're going to call him from now on. Marky Mark and the Funk Bunch. As Mar Gonzalez is going back down pit road, not sure what happened to the number 88 machine. I'm going to see if he went off track or anything here. Not seeing anything on the SDK. So not sure what happened to the number 88 machine. Maybe he didn't put enough fuel in to make it to the rest of the race. But Paul Owens is coming. Or Paul Butler is a man on a mission. He's got 3 seconds to make up on that number 54 machine, picking him off little by little, and that gap is just getting a little bit smaller and smaller, but not able to get there as we have gotten to the final lap of the race. A 1.2 second gap for our race leader. Mark Thomas coming out of turn number 2. He's got half a mile to go. Going down the backstretch into turn number 3, what does he do? Does he go down low? Does he go up high? He's going to run the middle, down to the white line. Don't get too greedy, Mark. You got this in the bag. Don't be a Dale Jr. run out of fuel. And Mark Thomas will pick up the second win of the season, winning at Charlotte and then winning here tonight at Texas. And that was a great race. One caution the whole way. And Mark Thomas will come out on top, grabbing the win for tonight.
Yeah, you see Jelly up there trying to give a congratulation to Mark Thomas. Paul Butler able to bring that machine home in the third position. Adam Keating will come in fourth, and Matt Crockett will round out your top five. And going back to before we get these guys in the booth, but going back to the 88 machine, normally what happens is he gets a little frustrated, and I'm pretty sure he didn't put enough fuel in the car. But big congratulations to Mark Thomas. He thought he didn't have anything, and look at him now, sitting in victory lane, and he has every right to burn it down here in Texas.
Yeah, one thing we didn't get to say was, EOL for the number 50 machine. And, on a greater note, it was just a one hell of a drive by the number 50 machine, able to keep it up front where he needed to. We're going to go ahead and run down these race results before we bring our top 3 into the booth. As we have, oh, hold on, give me a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put some ketchup in it. Empty that out. Bring up the race results here really quick. Mark Thomas gonna just Mark Thomas bringing up the win here tonight. Tea and Crumpets Racing. Paul Owens in P number 2. Paul Butler in third. Adam Keating in fourth. Matt Crockett in fifth. Caleb Collins in sixth. Jimmy Inslee in seventh. Tyler Bramble in eighth. Joseph Sullivan in ninth. Brendan Polt, our in-race reporter, bringing home a top 10. Joe Morant in 11th, John Crane in 12th, Mark Gonzalez finishing 13th, and Derek Booker rounding out your 15-car field. 14 car
Yeah,
field.
we only saw one caution tonight, Dylan, which was phenomenal. So congratulations to these guys on having one caution for the whole night in both races. But at this time, we're going to bring in our third place finisher. That is going to be my team tequila teammate. That's going to be the 77 machine of Paul Butler. And Dylan, I'll let you go from here.
All right, Paul, tequila time, PB Butler. This is Dylan and Ricky in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What y'all boys up to tonight?
Oh, man, we're not getting our butts kicked in jiu-jitsu, so that's,
Been there, done that.
Well, anyways, one hell of a drive tonight. I mean, you started on pole, and the 88 got a little bit too overzealous and got in the back of you earlier in the race and sent you a little bit sideways. Able to keep it straight, didn't bring out a caution. But did that first and only caution kind of change the way that you looked at this race tonight, or do you think maybe if you had another caution, you could have got back up to the lead?
I needed the other caution. I played it too conservative on the first restart. I was playing conservative while I was up in front, just saving tires because they were back there battling each other. I had nothing to do but just drive, so it was good. Caution came out. I, pitted, got all that. There's some guys that didn't pit or whatever. One guy took 2 tires. So I started in third, and I was just playing it too conservative, trying to save those tires while the other guys were battling. And by doing that, backing up the turn, Mark wasn't expecting me to slow down right there, and he just touched the back of me, and I wheeled it, I saved it, and yeah, I was after everybody's tires were wearing out, I was making my way back up, passing cars, and then we had to pit. I messed myself up in the pit because I overshot my pit box by a car length and a half.
Oh,
So I lost 5 or 6 seconds on the pit trying to back it up because with the shifter, you can't just click, 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 click. You got to shift it and get it to 4th gear. Yeah. Anyway, I screwed that up. I had some speed. I had a lot of fun out there. This is one of my favorite races so far, and I normally don't like Texas. So 0 practice. Put it on the pole. Good run. I'll take the points.
Yeah, I mean, you had a little bit of a late entry into Rockingham, which is okay. I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Got
But to
things to
come
do.
back, huh?
Said I got things to do.
Yeah, yeah. See, we're men out here. We got things to do, but I mean, let's talk about next week, Paul. It's
But what
two
tracks we got?
tracks. Do you really want to know?
Is it the dirt ones?
Yes, it is Knoxville and Bristol dirt, baby. I can't wait for it. How about this? Next week, me and you get together. We're going to practice Knoxville. We're going to practice Bristol all week when you can, when I can, and we're going to get you ready and set up for the dirt series or the two dirt tracks. But
Yeah, I'd love
it's
to. I need some dirt practice because I'm not very good at it. But if there's RC Cola on the car and my boys Ricky and Dylan are in the booth, then the car's gonna be fast. That's all there is
yeah.
to it.
See. And now is this now
Got
with you?
pace.
Yeah, you
Got
got
pace.
pace. You got pace. That's all that matters. So, with that being said, does that warrant a tequila time for you and Mr. Ricky Gonzalez?
I think Mark earned us one tonight. I don't have any up here. I'd have to go downstairs and get it. So after you guys are done with the broadcast, we'll get it done.
All right,
I'm gonna
yeah.
win one of these races. I'm here every week. I mean, I'm quick every week, so I'm gonna win one of these things.
All right. Well, before we let you get on out of here, PB, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I'll give a shout out to Mark Thomas. He drove a heck of a race, man. That was, he was wheeling it. Those cars that they were skatey out there, so it was a good time. I like to drive the cars when they're like that, and Mark and Paul Owens, they did a great job. A lot of guys out there did. They just burned their car up. My brother Larry, my nephews Bryson and Mason, my kids, my wife, you guys. Uh, Mark Gonzalez won the first race, so I got to give him a shout out. I don't know everybody, man. I'm just happy to finally get a finish.
Yeah, and a good finish too. So that's going to be a good points night for you. Dirt, we're going to be working hard at it. We're going to get you a top three again, both races next week, unless Jiu-Jitsu plays a
Yeah,
little bit of a
jujitsu
part.
sometimes goes over,
Yeah,
but
hey,
I'll try my best to be here, and hopefully I'm not too busy in the week. We can get together and do some driving because I need it. Need it. I love this series. These guys are great. Most of the guys here, all clean drivers. There was a guy I raced with last week, Tyler Barnes.
yes, sir.
I hated that he wasn't here tonight because he was a pretty good driver. I enjoyed racing with him last week. I had to message him and tell him that apologize for if I frustrated him when I was a lap down trying to get through the traffic there. I was riding all over his bumper, so I had to send him a message saying, "Hey, that wasn't my intention. I was just trying to get up there." So
You got
anyway, it was
pace. You
I
got
had
pace.
pace.
Yeah, see? All right, Paul, we're going to let you get downstairs, grab the bottle of tequila, get on a three-way FaceTime call with me, you, and Ricky, and we'll get to drinking here in a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and let you go back down there, celebrate, and we'll be talking to you in a little bit.
All right, boys, have a fun and sexy night.
There it is. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to our second place finisher as we're going to bring him up into the booth. Paul Owens, this is Dylan and Ricky in the booth. Get a copy.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ricky. Well, I just took care of the tequila time, Paul Butler. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you take care of our second place finisher while I quench my thirst.
Yeah, Paul, we saw that you had a great run here in Texas. Looked like you had a different pit strategy than what Mark Thomas had. You were able to get out in front of him. What was the strategy going into that last stop? And once the 50 got by, were you trying to just try to get back to his bumper, maybe get rattle his cage or anything like that? Just kind of tell me what happened during that.
Yeah, I took 2 tires and I took just a little too much fuel. If I took gallon less, I would have made it on the number and would have had about a 3/10 lead going into the last lap. So I don't know if I still would have won, but it would have made a little difference. But no, not really. Once Mark got by me, I just kind of settled in and accepted it because no
So
way I was going to catch him.
Then we saw the troubles with the 88 machine, but that's a different story. But we're gonna focus on to next week, and we go to the two dirt track races. How do you feel about your chances going to Knoxville and then Bristol Dirt?
Way better. I'm not much of a bigger track guy. I like intermediates. I like my short tracks, dirt or oval. It doesn't matter. I love them.
Oh man, before we get you on out of here, is there anybody again that you want to thank on that number 54 Parker Kligerman paint machine?
Well, you guys, of course, you do a great job up in the booth. I can't wait to watch this tomorrow.
Alrighty, Dylan, that is going to be our second place finisher, and we talked to this next driver, right before the race, and he thought he didn't have a chance, Dylan. But we're gonna bring him into the booth this time, Mr. Mark Thomas. This is Dylan and Mr. Ricky. I like to give Mark Thomas penalties. Gonzalez, you got a copy, bud?
I do, my friend. How are you?
All right, Mr. Dylan, I'll let you interview our race runner tonight here in Texas.
All right, buddy. Well, you started kind of deeper in the pack, I believe, maybe top 5 if I'm not mistaken, but able to wheel that thing all the way back up to the front. And it looked like that race was going to go green the whole way. But just that one little hiccup by the number 86 causing the first caution. And when you and Mark Gonzalez got into pit road there, it looked like maybe Mark Gonzalez got a little bit of a time penalty, maybe, or didn't take fuel. I don't know what happened to the number 88 machine, but he had to come back down. And was that one of the guys that you were worried about getting up to the front and pulling away like he did at Rockingham?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I was lucky. After the restart from the first caution, I managed to catch the 03, not relatively quickly, but quickly enough so I could use him to drag me up to the front of the pack, and then I was just concentrating on trying to get my laps in and be as consistent as I could, and I could see him coming. I could see him coming all the time. I was looking down at my relative, and it was closing. He was closing. He was closing. On the long run, he's got phenomenal pace. His tire conservation is just otherworldly. I don't know how he does it, but it was incredibly impressive. And then I called. I was pitting. He called. He was pitting in at the same time. We come in more or less side by side. I was trying my hardest to drag that thing down the track, and it was just the right front was just it weren't going to do it. It weren't having it, and I didn't want to push him out. So I was cadence braking. I was dabbing the brake, trying to get the front end to hook up and get it down into the bottom. And we came in side by side, and then I came out just ahead, and then he was there for a lap, and then he was gone. So I presume he had some kind of penalty in the pit or something like that. I don't really know. I haven't managed to speak to him yet, but yeah, he was definitely the guy who I was most concerned about tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I will have to admit, he's got the long run speed. And with him, being from Texas, same with Ricky and Caleb and all them, they have. It's kind of like me with Indianapolis. You just know how to run that track. That is your track that you know you're going to do very well in no matter what car, anything. You're always going to do well at Indianapolis or Texas, or for you, it would be, what, Brands Hatch or anything like that. So,
Yeah.
definitely a good points night for you. You finished third in the first race, finished first in the second race. So now we turn our TVs over to the dirt side of things next week. Is that something that you're looking forward to, or are you just ready to just get it over with and move on to, I believe, the following week will be North Wilkesboro and Five Flags?
Yeah, I'm so excited for the dirt. Yeah, I can't wait to drive. No, I don't mind dirt. I'm not brilliant at dirt, but I can hold my own on dirt. I've done a couple of dirt races and I've done okay. So yeah, it's not my surface. But then again, I mean, we do have a couple of dirt guys in the league, and I'm sure that there's going to be an upset or a few for the dirt stuff next week. I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not dreading it. Yeah, I prefer it to be tarmac, but I mean it is what it is. So it should be interesting. If nothing else, it's going to be it's going to be something. I wouldn't say I want it over with. I want to try and take some decent points away, hopefully, because I've been fairly consistent-ish. And I would like a semi-decent points haul from it just to keep that running. But yeah, I just want to run it as best as I can and not get it over with, but I want it out of the way. There you go. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely just got to keep your patience. And Ricky, before we let Mark do any kind of shout outs, is there anything you want to ask Mr. Trisket EOL penalty to the number 50 for no reason, Thomas?
Man, the only thing I got, Mark, is you drove phenomenally. Unfortunate for the '88 machine, as you know, he's family with me, but it's
Okay.
always good to see you in victory lane. You've always raced clean, and when you race around me and Dylan, at least, you race us clean. You're a good driver, and you're making some progress on these ovals, man. I can't wait to see you on dirt next week. I know you're gonna practice,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and I know you're gonna be in contention when it's all said and done.
Thank you, Ricky. Yeah, when you speak to your brother, just pass on my best regards, man, because he was there or thereabouts, and I was looking forward to racing him at the top end. But yeah, I honestly don't know what happened to him, but I was I was a bit gutted that he went out the way that he did because I think he has the pace tonight to take the win. Luckily for me, it just kind of folded in my direction. So yeah, yeah, but I mean, credit to the two Pauls, Paul Owens, Paul Butler. I mean, they were driving. I mean, those things around there, it's you. Yeah, you're on the ragged edge, like a lot. I'm sweating. I'm perspiring heavily. There you go. I'll just
Well,
leave
man,
it.
we'll let you get out of here, and we'll let you go celebrate with PB and PO down there, and man, we can't wait to see you next week on dirt.
Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate that, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Just make sure I'll slide you $50 if you just want to keep it straight on Thursday.
Is that what you need? Is that what you need? I can do that. I wouldn't say, hey, $50 is $50. I mean, exchange rate's pants right now. I mean, the pound's so weak. I mean, but I mean, I'll take £3.50. I don't care.
All right, buddy. Well, we're going to let you get on out of here, and we'll hopefully be talking to you again next week.
All right, then, my friends. Good play.
All right. Well, Ricky, that was our little bit of a fun here tonight. As it's always fun in the Core Racing League, and especially for the Arca Menard series. And next week we got Dirt. I'm definitely looking forward to Dirt. Last season the Arca cars went to Knoxville, and that was the most fun I've ever had in an Arca car. It's just like the 87s. They're not meant for dirt, but they can get around dirt tracks. And, it's just definitely going to be a fun way to go. Make sure if you guys haven't yet, like, share, subscribe. It's completely free. Hit the little bell notification so that way you guys can see exactly what we're broadcasting or doing every night of the week, but Fridays and Saturdays. Also, if you aren't, make sure you go over and you watch Jimmy and Carl as they are on YouTube right now broadcasting the UCRL Truck Series as they tackle, I don't know what track it was, but they're tackling some track over there. And then tomorrow night, you'll have myself back in the booth with our race winner tonight, Mark Trisket Thomas, as the IndyCars go back to, I believe, another road course. And then Thursday night, me and Ricky finish our season up at Pocono as Chris Hamilton goes for another championship here in the Core Racing League. And then Sunday night, I will be back in the booth with the Core Premier Series as they get ready to head to. It is. Let's see, I believe it is the Pro 2 Lights at Brands Hatch. So definitely don't want to miss that one as that's going to be a really good race. But with that being said, this has been Dylan and Ricky in the broadcast booth. And Ricky, I know you got a ending out thing. You were looking for one earlier, and I know you
was.
finally found one. So let's hear
Yeah.
what you got to say.
Yeah, I did find one. And before we get into that, just want to give a big shout out to everyone at CRN for bringing me on this week. This has been fun for 3 weeks now, and we're gonna have some more fun as we go to the dirt next week at Bristol and Knoxville. So I know you have some experience in Knoxville, and Bristol dirt's always fun. So we'll really see some slide jobs done next week on the dirt. But for now, this will be Ricky and Dylan in the broadcast booth for everyone from CRN, bringing you races that count for the people who care. Hope everyone has a good night, and we'll catch you next week.
Not gonna lie, that was actually a pretty good one. But before we get on out here, gotta say a big prayers to everybody down in Florida during these terrible times, especially with Hurricane Ian. Jimmy Covert is down in Florida. He did not get involved with the hurricane, but everybody out there that was involved in it, we got you guys in our prayers, and hopefully everything does come back through and be good on that note. But this has been Dylan and Ricky in the booth. Make sure you guys take care. Brush your hair.